Okay, let's see. Oh, I have nothing. Oh. All right. I don't even know why I'm putting this slide out because I really only have one slide today. That one. That's it. All right. Welcome everyone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10. All 10 of you today. Thanks for coming out. Okay, so today we're gonna finish off Google authentication by trying to log into a social media thing like Google. Then I'm gonna go off the beaten path. I'm going off of Rich Freeman's script and chat app. We're going to attempt to do a chat app because in my mind, when I first hear of Node, its importance, I think of chat. So we're going to try to do that. This is purely for fun. You're not going to be tested or on this or assigned anything. As well as number 3, we're going to touch on Google Maps. I got a prototype working last week where if I'm on my phone and I go to a website, it then tracks me on Google Maps. So hopefully I can lead you through that. But I was just on vacation, so my notes are incomplete, and there will be a point in time where I'm really without notes. So we'll see how that goes. Also, I wanted to mention on the pre-class to-dos on Blackboard, I have put your group's sequence in terms of presenting here. So you only have 20 minutes. I was hoping for longer than 20 minutes because some of these topics are can really be in depth. So I'm still kind of debating in my mind how to do this. Like if you really want more than 20 minutes, I was brainstorming the idea of what if you recorded yourself on YouTube, and then we'll play it in class for 20 minutes. And then for those of you who wish to continue, they can watch it from home. And then at least I can watch it and grade it from home as well. I don't know, something like that. But yeah, you only have 20 minutes to present. And today's class, you will definitely need some kind of Gmail or Google account. Also, I put a link here. I found this link on jobs, developer jobs, coding jobs around Barrie. So you may want to check that out. I think each week I'll post a different job-related link as well here under announcements. Okay, so just so that everyone is starting on the same page again, on GitHub, I posted my Lab 5. Oh, by the way, I still have to mark your labs, and a couple of you already submitted your assignment too. Thank you. I have yet to look at it. Yeah. And oh yeah, the question is, I think Amanda asked, can it be where if it's a group of people to present, can it be just one person presenting as? And I'll leave that to you. Yes. So you can, your entire remainder of the group can participate in the research of it, and one person can just present if they love presenting. Although I would encourage you to all participate in presenting just so that you're in that uncomfortable zone of presenting, just so it's good for you. It's good for you. Okay. All right. So on my GitHub, you will notice where is it here? This one here, Comp 2068 Lab 5. Just so that we're starting on the same page, everyone either download that or clone that. Keep in mind, if you clone that, your .git directory will be mine. So if you try to upload any changes, it'll try to upload to mine. So you may want to download it instead. So let's start from the beginning. So cd node, let us git clone I should magnify this. Yes. HTTPS hub.com abcoder comp 2068 lab 5. Owned it. I'm going to rename mine. So in Linux, if I say the mv command, rename it whatever I want. So I'll just say lesson 9. Let's go into that lesson 9C folder and npm install everything. So npm I. The final step is to copy your previous variables.env file into this directory. Copy the previous file into this directory. No, this is a continuation of authentication from last week. Now, remember last week you had those issues. I'm hoping this might resolve them. So if you clone this one, yeah, yeah. So let me in case you want to see where I'm going, on my GitHub under week 9 here, under number 2, Google Auth. This is my script. This is what I read every class, essentially. So in case I might be going too fast, this is what I'm doing. I'm cloning this. I'm npm-ing that. I'm copying the variables from last week into current folder, and I'm about to run nodemon just to make sure it works. All right, so if we run nodemon just to make sure it works. Oops, I'm in the wrong. Oh, hold on. What is happening here? Lesson 9C. Oh, shoot. It inserted. Okay, let me try that again. Try that again. Git clone is so 20 lab 5. Let me just see what's in there. Yeah, okay. So now if I rename that to lesson 9C, install that. I'm redoing it again. And I'm going to copy the previous. And we're going to nodemon that just to see if it works. All right, looks like it's about to work. 3000, there we go. All right, so as we left off last time, now this includes the lab 5. So if I actually log in with my test.test.com, password test, and log in, you should see a new link here called users. So if I click on users, you should see the table as was indicated in the lab. Wonderful, great. Oh, question, yeah. It has to be the variables. I mean, if you cloned my exact thing and you dash admin. Yeah, I think the user, a lot of people are being thrown off by the user not defined, because what's happening is there's an error, and if there's an error, it goes to your error.ejs page, which requires the user, but you didn't pass the user, so then you think it's the user, but in reality it's something else. Is there anyone else getting an error? No? Okay. Luke, if you wanted to continue of your last working project and not use my lab 5, that's fine too. It should still work of what we're doing today. Okay. Okay. So what we're going to do today is we're going to attempt to include Google authentication. So what we're going to do, let's browse this package here, npm.im/passport-google-OAuth. So here is the package that we are about to install. This will allow us to use Google authentication through our app. So instead of logging in through username and password through our own stuff, we can use Google as, in addition to that. So the first thing I want you to do is let's download a button that I put on Blackboard for you. So if you go under Blackboard, under weekly learning, under lesson 9, you should see one button there for Google login. So download that to your public/images folder. So let me do that now. Right click, save picture as. Let me navigate to my lesson 9C folder. Public. Oh, I don't have an images, so I better make one. Images. There you go. And save. I should open VS Code into that folder I just created as well. So I'm opening VS Code to my lesson 9 folder, just so that I see everything. Okay, so all I did was I saved the picture under my public images, and there it is. Public images, and there's my google.png file. All right. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to install that package, passport-google.oauth. So if you go to your terminal and say npm install passport-google-OAuth, download a new package and put it into your node modules folder. All right, so we've installed the passport.google package. We'll now need to configure that package in app.js. Then we'll need to put a get method in our app.js, and it'll point to the route /Google, which in turn will invoke the passport Google package. Okay, so let's go into app.js. So am I going too fast? Am I going too fast? Am I okay? All right. So let's go to app.js, and let's actually use what we just downloaded. So in here, I think I'll put it right after my passport. I don't think it really matters, but in my mind, if I'm going to use passport Google, I'll put it after passport. So I'm going to say const Google strategy. Now, you may have noticed that I did put a capital G in this case, only because I noticed ESLint will complain if I put a smaller case G, because the way we're using Google strategy here is through a constructor. So ESLint is complaining, you should use a capital G instead of a small g. Okay, fine. And then here's the difference. Actually, let me, never mind. I'll just put it here. This is what you need. OAuth2 strategy after the require statement. So we now need to configure the Google strategy, which will involve 3 global values. An app ID or client ID, secret, and a callback URL. Now, eventually, we're going to put that in our variables.env file. But for now, if you scroll down, we have to do some more configuration. So the placement of this matters now. So look for this trio of lines that you probably already have. We're going to insert a new code after line 50. So I'm going to make some space here between the passport.use and the passport.serialize user. And this is what we're going to say. Passport.use. And inside here, we're going to use our Google strategy. We're going to say new Google strategy, then brackets. And then inside those brackets will be a set of curly brackets because we're going to pass in a bunch of variables. And these are the variables. So I'm just going to set them up for now and then fill them in later. So first variable is client ID. One is client secret. And third one is callback URL. This is, I have to magnify it in the back? Yes? Or is it good? More. There we go. Okay. So obviously we could say process.env, which we still have yet to fill. And we'll call this Google client ID. Again, we have to fill that in our variables.env file. So right now that does not exist. And process.env.google callback URL. So in your variables.env file, if you open that up, we have let's begin to fill that in. We don't know yet the client ID or the client secret, but let's just begin to set that up in our variables.env file. Oh, yeah, I already have it from my previous rehearsal. So what you will have is something like this: Google client underscore ID equals blank. Same thing for Google client secret equals blank for you. But this is the same. Google callback URL will be localhost 3000/Google/callback, which is a route that we have yet to make. Okay, so what you're doing now is you're going to variables.env file. You're filling in you're beginning to set up 3 variables: Google underscore client ID, Google client secret. Oh yeah. So try to copy your previous variables that worked and just put it in this one. Yeah. Okay, so it's important that you have this one here. Callback URL is our localhost, HTTP localhost 3000/Google/callback, which we have yet to make. It's a route that we still have yet to create. Question: how do you think we're going to get our client ID and all of that? Yeah, so if you go to Google, and this is where everyone needs some kind of Gmail account. Let's see here. Okay, so if you go to Google and search for developer console API, something like that. I found that some of these links are kind of confusing, so I'm going to direct you to the right one. This one here that has the path of API/library at the end. I like that one better. I think it makes the most sense. Even though theoretically you can jump from one to another, I just found this one the easiest. So go to this one. If you somehow are using a different search engine and you're getting a totally different one, I did put the link in Blackboard, I believe. Did I? Yes. Oh, no, I didn't. Never mind. I lied. Oh, it's in the announcements. Thank you. thought I put it somewhere. So under the announcements, yeah, I put a link here to the console.developers.google.com/project, blah, blah, blah. So that's the good link. So let's go there. Log in to your Gmail or Google account if you haven't already. We are going to create a new project. So everyone should be at this page right now, yes? Okay, go ahead and create something. Click create, and let's name it. I want to name it comp 2068 hyphen Google. Whatever you want to name it. And create. Now Google is creating that project. See the spinner thing. Okay, I think it's done. Where is, oh yeah. So you'll notice here on the drop-down menu, it's already selected, right? So make sure that this is already what you just created. If not, click on the down arrow and select the one you want. Okay. Let us go. Is it here? Nope. Let us go here. So oops, let me just do that again. So I clicked on this left arrow here, and I want to get to the dashboard. There it is. And there's this one link here called Enable APIs and Services. So click on that. Oh, you know what? Now I'm confused because I think I was just at the same spot. So basically scroll down until you find the Google API, Google Plus API. So we're going to use that one. So you click on that Google Plus API. You should see this enable button here. And go ahead and click on enable. So it's enabling API. All right. You should see this screen now after it's did its thing. And there's a button here on the right-hand side called Create Credentials. So click on that. Create Credentials is right here. Click on this. All right, so for this second drop-down menu where it's saying, where will you be calling the API from? We are going to choose the one that has node in it. So web server, example node. And then this radio button here, what data will you be accessing? We'll just click on user data. And then click on that bottom button that says, what credentials do I need? So go ahead and click on that once you're done. You can optionally put in the name. I'll just leave it there as web client 1 for now. But the important thing here is this text box right here. So underneath authorized redirect URIs, so underneath this, so this text box right here, I want you to enter this. So HTTP localhost 3000 Google callback. So this is the URL that once the user successfully logs in through Google, Google redirects to this URL, which is back to our app. So go ahead and click on this button called Create OAuth Client ID. Button. And You can optionally change the product name here if you want. I'm just going to click on continue. Continue. Oh, product name must not be empty. Therefore, I shall put in name. Oh. Continue. Oh, we detected a problem with the product name shown to users. Make sure, maybe I should put in a, uh-oh, let me go back one. Ah, I clicked on back and then all of a sudden. I think I just messed up. Oh, my. OAuth client ID. Oh my goodness. I lost my place and now I cannot get back. Library, no. Did I even create it? You saw it? Dashboard. Thank you. Okay, let me try it again. Create credentials. API, yes. Node, yes. User data, yes. What credentials do I need? This one I want to be HTTP host 3000. Google callback. Create it. Product name, I'll just say comp 2068. Hopefully that'll be okay. Continue. Yes. So finally, you should see a client ID for you. Show of hands, who has a client ID? Whew. Okay, good. I always fear trepidation when going through these kinds of steps. All right. So go ahead and click on, actually, you can click on done first. Now you should see this, web client 1 or whatever you named it. And your client ID is here, but now you can copy this. However, if you click on this pencil icon right here on the right-hand side, click on that for a second, you get both access to the client ID and the client secret. Okay, so now you have your two variables that you can complete. So go ahead and copy your client ID into your variables.env file, and same thing for the secret. So I copied my client ID. I will go into my variables.env file. I will paste it here. I will go into, do the same thing for my client secret. So copy the client secret here, paste it in. And so now all three of your Google variables in variables.env should now be filled. And we can continue on and get out of Google. All right, so now that's filled. Variables.env is complete. We can go back to our app.js and continue our configuration. So here we said passport.use new Google strategy. And now all three of these are now accessible because we just put it into variables.env file. The next thing I want you to do is, after this squiggly bracket right here, put a comma. Oops. We're going to continue putting here. Let's say request, access token, refresh token, profile, done. Here we're going to say user dot find inside that. We'll put in squiggly brackets. I'm going to pass in username, profile, emails 0.value. So what's happening here? This profiles.emails is an array. So what happens is once we successfully log in to Google, Google will return to us an array of emails associated with the account. And this profile.email0.value will get you the email. And so we're assigning that to the username field. And we're just going to continue here. So error user. That, I believe, oops, I forgot one thing. I think I may have. This squiggly bracket should belong to the username field only and end right there. And there should be no more squiggly bracket. Last one, pick that up. Here just made it look different. Okay. Leave this up for now. If you're wondering where I'm getting this code from, it is directly from the NPM site for Passport Google OAuth 2. So I just simply copied and pasted that here and just changed the variables for Google Client ID stuff. Okay. All right. So as of right now, hold on. Let me just nodemon for a second. Nodemon, you don't have to do this. Nodemon, localhost. So if I go to our login page, we need to insert login button, which I forgot to insert. I think the fastest way, I don't want you to go to my github.com AV coder and just copy and paste this HTML code. So go into repositories, go into my week09. And click on this one, 02. This is what I'm reading from right now. I forgot to include this HTML code. So this will be our button. So go ahead and copy that. Put it in your login.egs file right underneath the current button that's already there. All right. So I copied it. I'm going into my views in my login EJS file. And underneath my current button for submit, which is right there, I'm going to paste in I just copied from Blackboard. So now I should have the google.png file showing, I think. At least, actually, because we already, shoot. Yeah, if I say node1, it'll crash because we're not done yet with our configuration. At least we got our button. Yeah, so back in app.js here, I said new Google strategy, which by the way, this Google strategy was defined up top here. You got that one, right? Okay, so then we got new Google strategy, and I passed in these parameters, which were defined in variables.env. And then I had this, all of this new stuff. But the essential takeaway of this is once the user successfully logs into Google, I get the email from this, profiles.email0.value. Yeah, sure. But up top, there was also an OAuth. Yeah, OAuth. I think you're referring to this line right here. Yeah, so just make sure that, yeah, the Google strategy has the .OAuth2 strategy after the require. That part of the object? Yeah, yes, yeah. So you'll notice. Really? So when you say dot and if you just type in strategy, it should give you like options. Do you get any of these options? Then I'm guessing you still have to install this. So if you go to your terminal and say npm install passport Google OAuth, that's probably the missing link. I'm using OAuth. Now you're right, there is such thing as an OAuth 2. And I did have success with that. But when I noticed the number of users, so if I go to, for example, npm passport Google OAuth, compare the number of weekly downloads that this package has, 27,000, to OAuth 2, which has this many. And furthermore, the author of the OAuth 2 package is MS Tade, which I've never heard of, but the author of this one is Jared Hansen, which just happens to be the same guy for the regular passport package. Yeah. Okay. Where am I? Oh, really? Require passport Google OAuth strategy. Now, is this line? I'm just wondering. No, it should still be weird. You just take a quick. Okay. All right. So, okay, where am I? Right. Okay, let's go into our roots folder. So let's go into our roots folder, go into our index.js. So let's just connect the dots for a second. Where's my EJS file for a second? So you'll notice here. So here's the HTML code that we just pasted into our EJS file in login.ejs. So we're basically saying, okay, if the user clicks on this button, which is an image, it will go to this route /Google. All right, let's define that in our routes. So in your index.js, be at the bottom before the last line, we'll define that router dot what are we doing? Get, right? Google. Now, why is it? Try this. Google. And here's something new. Passport. Actually, no, you know this. Passport dot authenticate. Google. Curly brackets. Here, we're going to define a scope. So what the scope is it's telling Google or telling the user, okay, if you choose to accept the terms of this login, then here's what I can access. I can access that as well as. Did I put a yes? Yes, thank you. Emails read. Yeah, you know, I'm double thinking myself. So again, if you go to my anytime there's a lot of things to type, I'm worried that there's always these mistypings will happen. So if you just go to my week 9 again, go to my O2 02, and I'm right here. Copy all of this if you want. Yeah, where am I again? So back in my repositories, I am here under comp 2068 week 9, right? No, just week 9. Yeah. 9. And then I'm here, 02 Google Auth. Yeah. So if you want to save some typing, you're welcome to just scroll down to the index.js and just copy all of that. I'll do that. However, as soon as I paste, I do notice a couple of changes that need to happen. You scroll down even further to my GitHub notes, you'll see that I actually change it. See, the problem with my teaching style when I create notes is that I'll do something, I'll immediately do what I did, and then after that I'll say, okay, but I'm going to change it to this. So I just noticed now that, okay, what you just copied and pasted is almost useless, because really all you need to copy is this now. 2 lines. I have to tweak that in the future. So let me just make this clear. So this copy and paste, which I simply got from NPM's page, I'm reducing it now to this, which is what I changed. And then we'll define these other controller code in the controller. Okay. So if you want to erase what you just pasted here and just replace it with this, then do so. So gone is this one, and gone is this one. So I just deleted what was on the NPM page, and I'm replacing it with this. Okay. So here, this is the route that will take care of when the user clicks on the Google button image. It'll go run this code, which we have yet to define. And then once that successfully happens, Google then redirects to this route, which we will now define as well. Now, in authcontroller.js, there, you should have an authcontroller.js. We are going to define those functions. So exports dot, I called it Google pre, so this is before the login happens. And here is where I just simply fill in the rest. Right, so you saw this already. I'm just redefining it in the controller. Yeah, sure. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, good question. So in my notes, this code here was coming directly from the NPM page, which I just copied and pasted here. But then as I was doing it myself, I noticed, okay, well, I don't have an app, I have a router, so I did some changes. And then I wanted this code in my controller instead of the route file. So what I ended up doing was I just deleted all of that, and I reduced it to just these 2 lines. Yeah, so just copy. So yeah, sorry to mislead you. Just if you still have this, just delete that and then replace it with these 2 lines, which we're defining now. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. And then here is what I'm currently typing now. Yeah. So I'm just going to finish up that now. So Google APS plus login and auth plus profile emails.read. So I just did that, Google pre. Now the next thing is the Google post. export Google Post equals export authenticate Google failure redirect. That's it. So your auth controller should have these two new functions, one for Google Pre, one for Google Post. Now, there's one thing we still have to do, two things we still have yet to do. If we were to run this right now, let's see what happens. So nodebon, I don't expect to get an error right away yet. Oh, there we go. Oh, I do, yes, I do. So this is what I'm saying. Oh, client ID. I did not expect that. I expected my error to be, does not know what to do with find or create. Let's just do that now. So let's see what happens. So npm install. So let me just say why we're doing this first. Where is my app.js? In our app.js, we already typed this, user.find or create. However, this method, find or create, it's not actually defined anywhere. You'd think it'd be already defined in like Mongoose or something, but it's not. We actually have to either define it ourselves or install a new package where someone already took care of that for us. So we're going to install this, npm I mongoose find or create. We're going to use this as a plugin. We installed mongoose-finder create. Now let's put that into, so if you go to your models folder under user.js, this is where we'll use it. Const find or create equals mongoose find or create. Be aware of the capitalization of the letter O and the letter C for find or create, because that's what whatever you type here will be matched in the app.js. And then here under the first plugin that we defined earlier, we're going to say user schema.plugin find or create. That is it. Hopefully this runs without error. Let's see what happens. Nodemon. Crash. Okay. The mongoose code. See what the problem is this, and this, and I noticed this in earlier videos of Rich Friedman. So in earlier videos, Rich actually defined this find or create manually, but then a student in one of his classes figured out there was actually a package for that, so you don't have to define it yourself. So then he changed his lectures later on to say, okay, just do this, npm I mongoose find or create. And that should, yeah, user.js. Yeah. Was there a question? Dan? No? Okay. And right now I have to figure out why it's bugging out on me for this OAuth 2 strategy requires a client ID option. Did I not provide a client ID? Let me just check my, what was that? Little d? Oh, I said I had a little d for something? App.js? Capital D, hey, thank you. Awesome, let's try Nodemon now. Oh, it's already, shoot. All right, Nodemon. Hopefully, dang, hold on. Manager. At least it didn't crash though, all right. And that. And that. One more time, Nodemon, please, hopefully. So after all of that, go to login. There's our button. If I hover over the button, the route is going to /Google, which you already took care of. So if I click on that, almost. What am I doing? Redirect URI is missing. Really? When I redid this, did I? Oh shoot! Here it is. HTTP host 3000. What did I say? Oh no, I already have it here. So what the heck? Google callback. I already have it there. Let me see my callback on my variables.env. Google callback. I have it there. So why is it complaining? Yes, Dan. Have that in my. Is that what you have and it works for you? No. Oh, okay, that's a good question. So you're thinking, what if it's just Google callback? Yours is full. Okay, so yours works. So obviously I did a typo somewhere. Show of hands, whose works? One. Crap. Okay. Right. This out. The full URL is supposed to work. So it's saying invalid request, required parameter redirect URI. And why is that saying that? Required. I have that. Yes, callback URL. Callback. Is this supposed to be capitalized too? Yeah. Thank you. Oh. Okay, let's try it now. So hopefully this is now working. So callback URL is the URL is capitalized. Maybe, hopefully, this works. Right. Again. Log in. Sign in with Google. Yes. And I can sign in with one of my Gmail accounts. Yes. So notice this name here, comp268, that came from the field where we were console.developer.com, whatever. That's where that name comes from. And these are the different things that we're allowing the app to access. So it'll view our email address and that thing. That comes from the scope, I believe. So I will say allow, and I'm in. Ta-da! You will have a chance to present soon. Okay. So that is all I wanted to show with that. In other Rich Freeman videos, he actually did Facebook, but then as you probably heard in the news, Facebook got a lot of privacy concerns. So then I noticed when I did the same example, it no longer worked because you have to do some extra hoops, which is probably why Rich never bothered with Facebook ever again since that point. So it's just Gmail, but you can try it with other things like, I don't know, GitHub. You can try it with Pinterest, Twitter. You can try that on your own. But at least you got this working. For your assignment number 2, I think there was a part there where if you want to try something like that, passport/get Twitter, you could try that, for example, for marks. But this is at least working, and you now have a template. And we can continue on to our chat app, which I think will take a mental break from here because that was a lot. Yeah, it was a workout. It was a workout. And I'm hoping the latter half of class with the chat and the Google will be at least more exciting for you, instead of just me saying, this is how you do it. So the next half of class, I think I'm going to have a chance for you guys to play and try it out before I show you what I did. Okay. So let us take a break. Let's take 20 minutes, I guess. 20 minutes. Okay. Yeah, sure. Yeah, let me see here. GitHub. Let me see here. What do I got? Here I got it here. Oh, so week 9 is finished now. It's currently private because I didn't want anyone to see it, but I will make it public now. So if you download the finished one, it should be all good. 2068 week 09 finished. So I just made public this one here, comp 2068 week 9 finished. So if you want to download that bug free, it should be bug free at least. Right now during break, and then if we need more time after class, yes. Yeah. Although I'm in the library research help desk, and I'll have to give priority to those students that need research help over my own class. So, well, I'll check it out right now after Thomas.
Because of the presentation.
Yes, correct. No final.
Because week 14.
Oh, okay. Sure. Did you want to switch to week 13 or something?
We are week 13.
Oh, okay, okay. Sure. Yeah. Okay, good.
It's on because it's on a Wednesday, so I would have missed the Wednesday.
Okay.
Oh.
Like the downloads have
Okay, let's try this. I just made public the write down on that, then copy your prayer. Download that on the. Okay. Yeah.
okay. So like downloaded and tried to do.
Yeah, so now hit your previous screen on that. Don't forget to confuse. So go to your variables up. So you're missing this. Here. You're missing that.
Well, what about last week? And there's one I couldn't open that one. There. But works on. That's like, it's probably because it's same thing. Because the Google ID, Google secret was empty, right? Because I don't have that, and like the issue what's happening is, well, this is lesson 9, like the one I just downloaded, not the finished one, but that comes up. So if I go to 3000, that's it. Just that's one.
The error is not really used. It's trying to make the error.bgs page, and the error.bgs has a header, which actually is, but that's not. What you saw before. So usually when I see whatever case, usually when I see that,
Because this is from your downloaded file that you told us to download at the beginning of class. Lesson 5.
it says provide a secret option. I'm guessing we're going to pick this up. This is another variable just called secret.
So
You never told us to write down a secret variable.
no? Okay.
So because like I watched, like what happened was for the lab, I messed up, so I actually had to restart. But since I thought, okay, already class, I clicked it along, I just didn't download the end of the class one. But when I downloaded it, that error kept occurring, and I couldn't figure it out. So I actually had to follow last week's video all over again.
Sorry about that. So my variable is not going to be have a secret.
What does the secret do though?
It's so it acts as a salt. Were you ever explaining salting?
I was there here last week, so that like I believe it's like the code that's that password or something like that.
Jared and Java, right?
Yeah.
The log.
Yeah.
Put in, that's the salt.
Yeah,
It's
so-
not, it's not the-
something like that. Like
Good.
Is it like my settings on my account or something?
Sure why.
there we go.
You know.
Yeah, yeah, you only get 3. I got the extra one on there.
Another something.
Go back first. Those were freelance. Yeah, those were last. Okay. So if I use this program instead, add the ID on this program, should that potentially work as a workaround? Yeah. Because I just need a confident key. Yes. Because I want to somehow pass that credentials thing.
Yeah, sure. Try that. If you want to try that.
Oh, sorry.
Downloaded your code and I had update. Strategy wasn't
Yes.
So, did it work with the Google and now you're working with it?
No, I just want to try to get this one working. So,
so if you go to your variables that you have notes app, and this is yeah. So and this is the problem with my notes is that I do stuff and then I change it and I forget to change it on my notes and then I'm screwed up. When it comes time to teach, I'm screwed up. Yeah.
So, about the lab, like I noticed it must be yeah, I did. Yeah. Should we have done that? Because I noticed that I tested that like online at work before I contacted you. So I was just like, he asked us to dash we just do this.
Yeah, that's either way it's fine. As long as I only did that just to prove a point that we can do middleware where test for authenticated and if they're successful, then the next middleware. That's the only point I did that.
And about that Azure, like I just want to figure out what's going on because if the assign, like final exam against submit like the database on the Azure, then
If it is signed, there's
Yeah.
no final exam.
yeah, if
There's no final exam.
there is no, just well,
It's for this assignment.
it was bugs me because
Sure.
he actually tried to help me
Yes.
about with the Azure and it didn't work, right? Like we
For
went.
the application settings.
Yeah.
Okay, but now you have to insert all of the Google clients you can do.
Well, that's the thing. That's the only thing that was in there because on locals that's working. This is for
Okay,
the
then
lab.
maybe it was the secret. Remember the secret that you just put in and now it works.
Well, that was for yours. For mine,
Oh,
that I uploaded, it was working without the secret.
Oh, I see, okay.
So that's like I could try to type in secret, but like I'm not sure because it works fine locally,
Yes.
but it doesn't. Like I could just run it for you to show you, but like on Azure, it's just right.
So, yeah, run it locally, I can see what's in the variables that you back.
Oh, it's because of the changes to it. We're trying to follow the clock.
Oh, okay.
I just want to, I guess. don't know, I can't remember what we changed. I fell behind.
I mean, as long as you have the most up-to-date just now, then sort about it. First time too, we just.
So, same one.
Okay, now in this case, I notice whenever I get that one, your beer does not get
Okay, let's take
in my variable does not need to be file. I'll show you up here.
Sure.
This dealt with a previous class, which I may have forgotten to mention, because in my code I said secret equals some string, because I think in my app.js I believe I said here app.use session secret process.env secret. So if you put in some kind of secret there, it should work.
Mention it started.
I'm looking to control Alt and then see if there's a ask. Yeah. It's weird. Yeah, we should have been on the end, so we already messed it up, so. Okay. That is so weird, I see it hanging through here.
Yeah.
Control C is not even working. That is. Control C is not working. Control D.
Well, I'll try to restart. Shut this down.
Supposedly, I'll just use it here.
Could be. Yeah. Okay.
That's so weird.
Yeah. I actually got it. I based it on that live, actually, so this is.
Yeah.
Users works, so it's working again. Azure.
So we upload that one to Azure. We make sure that in the application settings, make sure that under here, and then that every single variable.
That's the thing, like, this is it. This is all I have.
Now,
This is not for the lab. This is what I submitted with the lab.
oh, I see, I see.
This is what is submitted on Azure.
Yeah.
This is what's like on, this is how it's on local, but for some reason not running Azure. I don't know, like, I'm just trying to get rid of this, but it's like, because I don't have this. Actually, in my application,
You can try it out and do it that way, right?
I don't even know what it does. No, I didn't change it. That was just the default.
It's just not much you can do. Just make sure.
Which is make a whole thing, we don't take the stuff inside of one. Like what it just.
Yeah, when you're such a little bit, it's not a fun ride. I got zero.
Figure there's a chance that you can't leave your destination over the class and just do it.
Like sync?
Oh, right. Yes.
No.
Actually, before I even added the database, I only see their error
Don't feel so bad now. You're welcome.
All right. The only reason I wanted to go back.
Same error.
She gave like a perfect something.
No. I
No, I mean, like, in terms of
spelling error.
Yeah. That's like, well, it's very great. Hey, there we go.
Yeah.
It's working now.
Like, using papers and work on the software, I was like,
All right. If you want, kind of better mark if you work on it.
I can take a look at it, like, if you just zip it.
Yeah.
Yeah, now we are moving to something totally different that doesn't require this at all, so hopefully it'll be okay. All right, good point on Luke. Luke tried to, for his lab 5, he tried to post it on Azure. It didn't work, and the solution that Nikita said was, if you notice in your Azure under application settings, the node version for Luke, it was at 6 point something, but my code, I was using something called async await, which is not recognized in earlier versions of Node. Therefore, Nikita said he discovered if he upgraded that to what, 8.9 point something, then it worked. Yeah. Good point. Okay, so chat up. Let's try this. Let's just open a new folder. Actually, let's just get into our terminal command prompt. See a note. Okay, so we're going to create a new directory. We'll call it chat up. So I'll say make directory chat up. I'll call it 3 for you. It's number 1. Go into that. Okay. And this is what we're going to do. Say npm init review. How do I just have an npm init that's just fast so I don't have to go through the prompts? What's the option I say? npm init what? Remember? Almost. -y for yes. So that creates the package.json. In a sense, as we go through this, this will trigger some memories where we're back in week 1, week 2, week 3 again, where we're playing with networking stuff. That's where we're kind of going. And then we're going to install 3 packages. So npm install express, EJS, and socket.io.
before we go any further, I want to try something real fast. If you go under week 9, under Blackboard, I'm going to reveal something that was hidden, just to see if this works. Go right there. Make available. There. So you should see this link right here, chat up on this domain. I want you to try going to that domain, everyone. And you should, let's see if it works. It should work, but that's where we're headed. So I'm just going to show you the end result first before we go on coding. This is what I tinkered around with. Hopefully it comes up. You should all see something like this. Yes. Say hello world. And hopefully, does it? Yeah. So all of you are kind of playing with it now, and it kind of works, right? I'm not. Oh, I forgot to say change username. Hi world. There, you see my AV coder is now there. AV coder hi world. So you could change your username up top. Okay, click on the button change username for your own name, and you could all. This is where we're going. Actually, from a teaching standpoint, quite a show of hands, who likes it when I show the end product first before we code versus coding and then see the end product? Show of hands, who likes this method better where you see the end product first? Yeah? Okay. Okay. I think I'll change my style from that now on. Because you got the buy-in now. Okay, good. So this is where we're going. Let's close that up. All right. Let's open the folder into our new folder. For me, it's chat up 3. Okay. So in our chat up, we will create a new file called index.js. Oops. I don't want that. I wanted directory here. Okay, so now I have a file called index.js. Oh, where is my YouTube? Thank you. Broadcast.